Welcome back to On the Nose, and once again, I'm joined in studio by our very good friend Thad Taylor. Thad, welcome along.
Good friend, thanks, Paul. Appreciate that, mate.
Yeah. Friend of the show, anyway.
Give me the warm fuzzies. Hello to you, and hello to everyone out there in On the Nose land. Two meetings over the Easter Saturday. We're going to have a look at Riverton and Ellersley, Paul.
Riverton Cup Day down at down south, and I guess that's a good place to start. We'll head to race one. Was the Kevin Burns Memorial Maiden over the 1,400 metres, and Amber Riddell, who had a wee bit of a day down there, got Flash Rocker home at around $5.
Yeah, exactly. Look, the theme of the day down there at Riverton, from what I could see, was if not front runners, inside 3 or 4 lanes looked to be the place to be, and the front runners dominated race number 1 on the card. There were a couple of movers. Luckenbach, $8 into $5.50. We were losing 50,000. The Russian Rocket, 12 into $6.50, was also a losing result of around 30,000. And Almander was 12 into 7 late. It finished in the money, but Flash Rocker was open 6, close 6. Kelvin Tyler, so there was always a bit of support. A small win, plus 10,000.
Race 2, the Todd & Co Realty Ruahine Dairies Open.
Spit it out, man.
Tina.com, the immigrant at around $4. Surely that's not a good sign for the bookies.
No, Michael Pittman, Matthew Pittman, Tina Komanyagi down in Riverton tends to be a not an enviable sort of combination, and it wasn't here. 650 to 480 minus 40,000 for the immigrant, so they knew what they were doing there. It's quite a busy finish. My Ninja Girl, 10 into 850, that was well backed. It was minus 25,000. So, and my Ninja Girl, I don't think that was the worst of runs, finished third. Then a couple of movers, unusual movers, I'll just mention them. Bucks Knight, 23 into $9.50, drew a wide gate and got ridden with urgency. So I think maybe they were thinking it's going to run all the way, lead all the way, or sort of had to sit outside leader and faded out of it. But for what it's worth, I'm here to tell you that it was a move around Bucks Knight, 23 into $9.50, and Saviour was also 10 into $6. But, Pittman's and Komanyagi and the immigrant, minus 40,000.
Race 3, the Bupa Care Services Excellency Stakes, for the moment, $6.30.
Kelvin Tyler.
Yeah, well.
Yes, but he had about 20 in the race, Kelvin Tyler.
Did they zig when they should have zagged?
They zigged when they should have zagged. For the moment was 750 out to 950 with all the support. For one runner in particular, which I'll get to, back to 650 late when the market sort of recorrected itself. But the damage was done. We were plus 25,000 there. Better shared. $31 into $5.50.
Oh.
That's the Kelvin Tyler runner. They took it up to Riverton, race behind Zelia. That was a big price that day, but I mean that's the top echelon of 2-year-olds there down south. And it didn't yelp, but the bookmakers obviously paid no attention to the fact that they took better shared up there. Opened at 31, marketplace into 550. It was minus 100,000. Watch out for better shared. Obviously, here's some opinion of the horse.
You won't get $31 next time, I would suggest.
Well, if we do, I'll be going around and having a serious word to those bookies. The 4 of us ran second at Quinella. We opened that favourite 3 out to 380, another Kelvin Tyler runner. So he Quinella the race, but not with the one the customers wanted. Bobby McGee, that was a good run and a little move for at odds, 31 into $20 for Bobby McGee. It finished third. So maybe one to mark down, 31 into 20, Bobby McGee, but plus 25, as you say, they zigged when they should have zagged the Tyler team.
Race 4, the Ashford Motor Lodge Christchurch Pourakino Handicap, number 11, Amanda Rin.
Yeah, Amanda Rin, sat outside leader and just ran away and hid. 17 out to 21, back to 14 late. So that late move, and quite often during the week, some of those horses will drift early with the early moves, and then they potentially overcooked it a little bit. And the late moves are the ones to keep an eye out for. So mark down the early movers, obviously, but also note the late movers. And I think the late movers are really the ones we should be really paying attention to. And if they move twice, well, then we're in all sorts. But Amanda Rin was plus 35 on the rivet. Ran second, 17 into $6. So a really good push for on the rivet, minus 40,000. Tommy Turbo was a drifting favourite, but it was minus 70,000 for the Pittman runner. And Imperative was a nice run, 10 to 850. It was a bit of support there, but Amanda Rin plus 35.
Race 5, the Riverton Butchery Aparima Handicap. Number 12, Macabar with Kylie Williams aboard at 40 plus.
Yeah, busy busy old finish. It was they were everywhere, and it was a funny old race because the roughies sort of fought it all out. So it was a small win, Maccabar plus 10,000, 27 out to 35. Riverina, I'll say you spit it out, I'll try and spit it out. Riverina Rebel, 550 into 370 was minus 40,000. And Monaghan Boy, not the first time he's moved at odds in the market, 26 into 16. But yeah, funny race. All the roughies were up the front. It was plus 10,000.
Race 6, Ford Auto Services, Spates Fairfax Handicap, and Express Cope, Tina Komanyagi, and the Pitmans.
Have a guess, minus 50. Minus 50, Express Cope. Look, it drew one, Tina Komanyagi. So one was a place, down on that inside seemed the place to be. 1, 2, and 3 lanes were all the place to be to the day. So, look, Express Cope sat in the trail, or 2 fence, and Intercept, who ran it pretty close at the end, sat 3 fence. So we're seeing a pattern there, certainly, and minus 50,000 Express Cope.
Race 7, the Riverton Rural Transport, Frank Collin Stakes. Go Lottie. Amber Riddell gets another one home for Kelvin Tyler.
Yeah, 4 for the day for Amber, 4 for the day for Kelvin. Go Lottie, 4 into 320. Not a lot to speak of in this market, to be honest. Kelvin, so Go Lottie was minus 25,000. It was the only real shortener in the race. We opened Addictive Passion favourite at 380, just ahead of Go Lottie. If you backed Addictive Passion, you would have needed a stiff drink. Absolutely locked home. Go Lottie was never in it until right at the post, but it was 380 out to $5, and Go Lottie was minus 25,000. I feel for you if you were on Addictive Passion, because that was a bit of a heartbreaker.
I think we've got another one that you'd be feeling for up in Ellersley later on. Race 8, the Kennedy Building Riverton Cup, and Mayor of Norwood with Donovan Cooper aboard at around $6 gets home for the Anderton stable.
Yes, exactly. 1, 2, 3 past the post the first time round. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4 past the post the second time round in the Riverton Cup. So again,
get to the front and stay there.
Pretty much. And Mayor of Norwood had the trail, got the inside run, plus 45,000. They just wanted to be on the 1, the 2, and the 3 in the book. Prince Albie, Lofty's Gift, smooth operator, but no real moves to speak of here. Mayor of Norwood was one they didn't want, plus 45,000.
Race 9, the Aparima Restaurant and Bar Open, and Lemon Curd with Amber Riddell aboard at around $6 gets home for Robert Dennis.
Yeah, exactly. And then Robert Dennis having a win is never an ideal result. It was minus 20,000 Lemon Curd. Move on. And they got the Quinella here to be the only two that moved. The Lemon Curd was $6.50 to $5.50 minus 20. Move on was $10 into $4.20 and ran second. So the marketplace got it spot on here. They were both losing results. Move on was a worse result than Lemon Curd, but Lemon Curd was minus 20, Paul.
Final race of the day. Race 10, the Ewan Allen Honda, AB Lime, Waipungo Handicap.
They're giving you a few tongue twisters.
Boy, they love it down south, don't they? Vamos.
Yeah.
With that girl, the girl of the day, Amber Riddell. Boy, she was riding very, very well at $3.40 with Kelvin Tyler, the trainer. So I'm guessing a great finish to the day for punters.
Minus 30,000 for Moss. Again, one of the only ones that moved, 550 into 370. So, be fair, they were almost seeing it like beach balls down there at Riverton, which is not unusual at this carnival. That customers performed pretty well, and they did there with Vamos, minus 30,000. Weary was a nice run for third. And I thought the runner Stout held a bit of merit, and there was a little move for it late. It was $18 into $14 for Stout. That was Tina on board and sat wide the whole way, which wasn't the place to be, and there was even wider in the straight and still boxed on very well. So I thought maybe Stout might be one to mark down out of the race, but minus 30 for Moss, which meant Riverton was a losing day or a losing meeting, which you'll be very pleased to hear. Of around minus $40,000 to $50,000 at Riverton. Let's
head up north now. And there was a wee bit of rain prior to the meeting. We had a soft 6 at Ellersley. It was Manco Easter Handicap Day.
Yeah.
And we start off with the Manco 2100 Open. He's classic, Tristan Moodley at around $9.
Yeah, and he's classic 9 out to 11, back to 9.50 late. So, yeah, there was a little bit of interest late, but in fairness, the money was spread far and wide there, Paul. I mean, there were a number that they backed. The worst result for the TAB was actually a Court of Appeal for the Tiakia team, was getting home just a little bit, just a fraction unlucky, I would say, Court of Appeal. and it was around $6. Got to 7, back to 6. That was the worst way. He's classic. Plus 30,000. Look, there was money for Blue Moon. There was money for Up the Ante. There was money for Gentian Blue as well, who didn't run a bad race but didn't finish off, to be fair. So plus 30,000 Court of Appeal.
Race 2, the trackside.co.nz 1200 Open, and O'Sullivan Scott. Boy, this is not good for the bookies. Reptac at around 450, but didn't open it around the $4 mark.
You've done your homework. You love a bit of blood on the floor. I know that. Reptac $11 put up. First up, Reptac, and he didn't really give anything else a chance. Got taken on in front and didn't worry it, to be fair. Bolted in minus 80,000. A Lady Georgiana was a big move, 16 into $5, and I think they wanted to lead, and it just didn't get the lead. Lady Georgiana, and sort of faded out of it. But there was a decent move for Lady Georgiana. Shockatillatap ran second, was 9 into 650, so they got it pretty much spot on. They ran the Quinella, but Reptac 11 into 420, Crash Bang Wallet minus 80.
Race 3, join TAB Racing Club 1200 Open and Sterling Express with Kate Hercock aboard at around $13. Surely the bookies get a wee bit back there.
Thank you, Kate.
She's been going well too.
Yeah, she has. She's picking up her fair share and riding up at Ellersley, which is great. There were 2 well-back favourites, which meant Sir Sterling, which was $750. Sir Sterling.
Sterling Express.
Right, Sterling Express.
Yes.
There is a Sir Sterling, isn't there? This is Sterling Express, of course. $750 out to $11 because they backed Glamour Tycoon 440 into 270, which started favourite, and Grand Gallo was $330, the mare into $290. So there was a stack of money on both, which meant Sterling Express was plus 100,000 there the third of the day.
Race 4, Sky City Starway Stakes, and it's the little black dress with Billy Pin on at around $450. Stephen Marsh. Wow, that usually spells trouble for bookies.
Yeah, particularly when he's got about 7 in the race, and they're all in the market. $550 into $370 for Little Black Dress, minus 35,000. Look, and Lady Iris ran second in a very game second. It was 8 into $6. So look, they got it spot on here. Stormfront, 3 out to 4, the opening favourite. Man, look, over race, the speed was on, and then they put the brakes on and over race, but look, didn't, had its chance, or, some excuses, but just didn't run up to par, to be fair. And Stephen Marsh, as he does when he's got a fair few in the race, had us completely on the ropes. $550 to $370, Little Black Dress minus 35.
Speaking of Stephen Marsh, we head to race 5, the Albasti Equiworld Dubai 1200, and Rockin' Rosie gets home at around the $9 mark. I'm guessing. Well, did they miss this one? Or?
They did. Well, they say they missed it. It was 9 out to 12, back to 10 late, but it was still plus 50,000 because they backed 2 other Stephen Marsh runners here.
Philly gives a look.
You're one of your old favourites. Philly gives a look. $750 into $460, and Bellarista, who was 13 into $850, and look, he had mow it down in the race, ran third. That was about $550 out to $8. So, yeah, the zigging when zagging and pulling wrong reins. That's what happened here with Rocket Rosie resuming plus 50,000.
Race 6, the KRA Trophy 1400, and back to Angel with Joe Doyle at around 20 odd. We make some back. Did the bookies?
Yeah, we did. I just mentioned Piercing Arrow in that last race as well. Before. No, yeah, it's for John Wheeler. It was first up for John Wheeler from Australia, and there was a stack of money on. Don't know what to make of it entirely. It didn't really yelp. First look in New Zealand, so I just wanted to let you know that the money was on Piercing Arrow for John Wheeler, who trekked it to Ellersley. So mark Piercing Arrow down. Back the Angel race number 6, yes. 34s we opened out to 41s into 20s late. So a little late move at odds, but it was plus 35,000. Look, there was money everywhere, to be fair. There were 2 horses that shortened significantly. Kohiroa was a very good run. 13 into 7. It was storming down the outside and overdrawn. Not the first time overdrawn has been a shortener, and didn't fire, to be fair. 12 into 6, and not the first time it hasn't fired either. So we're not sure what to do with overdrawn. The weapon, 420 out to 650. No money late. So wow. Yeah, that was interesting. And a couple of sneaky runs, I thought. I'm Lulu was first up. That was coming down the outside with Kohiroa. And Evercharm was a little bit unlucky as O'Sullivan Scott running. There was an early move for it. Sort of 15 into 12, back to 17 late for Evercharm. A couple of sneaky runners to keep an eye on. I'm Lulu and Ever Charm, but plus 35 back to Angel.
At race 7, the Group 3 Trelawney Stud Championship Stakes, and this was very, very interesting, Thad. Kiwi Skyhawk wins, was the opening favourite, but Zormella was the one that they came for, and she closed favourite. So did Kiwi Skyhawk do us a wee bit of a favour?
Certainly did. We wouldn't have won it the other way around. And gee, look at 100 metres, you would have thought Zormella was home for the chocolates. I know one of our good friends at Trackside,
indeed,
our
yes,
producer of the league up, one Mark Wells was hoping Zormella was going to hold on for his multi-bets. Gee, that was a sick finish. But as you say, 290 up to 350 Kiwi Skyhawk plus 80,000 for the opening favourite, because Zormella was minus 100,000. Now there are other horses in the race, Bourbon Proof. Sorry, jeez, was another shortener and took money. So look, it was minus 100,000 Zormella plus 80,000 Kiwi Skyhawk. Pro Boy was an interesting run up the rail, got back to last, 31 into 17, back to 23. I broke maidens at Harborough. And just it was an interesting little run from Pro Boy, I thought, but plus 80 Kiwi Skyhawk.
Feature race of the day, race 8, the Manco Easter Handicap, and Dr. Ascar just keeps knocking them over. And by the looks of it, doesn't get a lot of support from punters.
Well, he has done, but as he stepped up in grade so quickly, I think a lot of people have been thinking, this step up is going to be a bit far. Right. This step up is going to be a bit far. You know, he can't keep winning.
But he does.
Exactly. But in fairness, 18 into 14, Dr. Ascar. So he's one of very few shorteners off the opening mark in the race. So, but he was plus 40,000, open handicap mile. We love to see them from a betting perspective. The money was everywhere. The worst results were actually Wild Knight was minus 80,000. Herbert was minus 130,000.
Johnny Wheeler?
Wheeler, yeah. So they had good support. Tardelli was 750 into 6, ran a very good race, the 3-year-old, in fairness. And the big market mover was Little Bit of Love, 23 into $7.50, finished sort of 7th or 8th. But gee, if it gets a heavy track anywhere, or it was a good run for Little Bit of Love. Came from the back, 23 into 750. Dr. Ascar, 18 into 14 plus 40 in the Easter.
Right, final race of the day at Ellersley, race 9, the trackside.co.nz 1600. Croupier, who was coming off a win, only a week ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And gets the job done again at around $3.
Yeah, but a lazy running here, I reckon, from the odd setters. Yeah, on the quick backup, there was no jockey. It drew barrier 20. So opened 850. 850 now. If you got 850, there was a 13% deduction in the race. So we're still talking north of $7 there. As an opening price for Croupier. Won well, onwards and upwards. I'm sure the campaign to Brisbane is in the offing, all things going well. It was a small-ish loss, or it was around a break-even result for Croupier because there was a lot of money for your old mate and my old mate.
Oh, boy.
Monday Melody. We're going to have to put the Q in the rack there, I think.
Yes.
And Katahio had good support, ran a decent race at big odds for Cody Colbert. Croupier, if you got the opening price, you did well. It was a small loss in the last.
So overall, Riverton and Ellersley together.
Yes, Riverton minus 40, Ellersley, due to the likes of Sterling Express.
Zormella losing.
Back to Angel,
not winning.
Was a lot better result. It was around 230,000 at Ellersley. So one winning venue at Ellersley to 30,000, and one losing venue, Riverton, was around minus 40,000.
Right, that's it for another week then, Thad. Thanks for watching. Hope you found a winner, and I hope you follow one or two of Thad's, horses to keep an eye on. We'll catch you again next week on The Nose.